Hello world, my name is Ashley. Welcome to Tru Story. So Tru Story is a segment that I'm doing on my channel, bringing light to numerous things that has happened to me over my lifetime, how I've overcame and how I continue to thrive past these obstacles that I've went through. Okay, so today we're talking about the abusers. Okay, a lot of times we focus on one particular one or one most popular, and we don't shed light or bring the reality for to those around us that should be made aware of these. Today I'm going to be discussing 3 abusers. Okay, they could be male or female, young or old, doesn't matter. They could be anywhere, workplace, things of that sort. So I'm going to share with you some of the stories, give you some perspectives, and also show you how you can avoid these people that I encountered. Okay, so if you're interested, stay tuned. Comment down below about this video. Let me know how this helped you or how it helped someone else. Share. Sharing is caring, and make sure you're subscribed and hit that like button. I hope y'all have your coffee. I'm drinking black coffee today. That's my jam. Some tea. Grab you some wine, honey, or something. Light a candle, some light music, because I'm telling you, this is going to be a one that may make you cry, that may make you laugh, that may make you sad, that may make you overjoyed. Okay, you may feel any one of those emotions. If you've gone down this road, you know someone that have, or you've seen this firsthand. Okay, so we're going to discuss abuser number 1. Abuser number 1 is verbal. Okay, now I'm going to tell you, these people can be anywhere in your life. They can be in your family, they can be in your friend, they can be one of your friends. They can also be just a co-worker. Trust me, it doesn't matter. They could be someone that you don't know, a complete stranger. This is a verbal abuser. Okay, so I've experienced verbal abuse on the workplace where I've had a boss try to come on to me, and if I didn't do exactly what they wanted me to, they would just use vulgar language. I've experienced on the workplace where just coworker, not even a supervisor, well, can I touch your breasts? Can I touch your butt? Well, I mean, that just would say random things that would just like throw me off, because like, why is this happening at work, right? I can tell you about a time that I've experienced it in my own family. I've had my own family members try to verbally abuse me. If I'm not doing exactly what they want, they'll talk down to me. They'll cuss at me. They'll lash out. It's just crazy. I've experienced that in the past with my own family. I've experienced friends bully me into doing things that I didn't want to do. And not necessarily saying that I can't control a situation, but sometimes you want to have friends to fit in, right? And if you're not drinking, partying, and doing all that good stuff, they want to put you down. They want to bully you. And sometimes you don't have that restraint enough and you give in, right? And so then after that, you feel real bad, or you feel bad while you're doing it, right? So I've experienced that. Then this can be, abuser could be your spouse. Abuser could be your spouse, right? They may just talk down to you. Have you found yourself like gaining a couple of pounds and they didn't like the way you looked and they talk down to you? Or you may be a little bit more successful on your job or in your business and they talk down to you. I've been there. Or the verbal abuser that just tells you what they're going to do, even if they never act upon it. I've been there. So what I can tell you about a verbal abuser from my experience, it starts off as joking around or kidding around, or they may embarrass you in public or in front of family or friends, or they may just make you feel low to the point where you don't necessarily even like yourself. You try to question the person or yourself mentally and say, hey, what did I do? Is there something I need to change? Like something's wrong with me. You'll question yourself because you think something's wrong with you. You don't understand why you're even experiencing this behavior. from this individual. Okay? And I tell you, it becomes a point where you don't want to talk to nobody. You don't want to go anywhere. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to make your, do your hair, or for ladies, you don't want to cut your hair for men or style it or whatever you do. You just become like in a rut, right? And some of you that don't know how to channel those emotions like I was back then, you might revert to eating bad foods, stopping your regiment, not taking care of yourself in a manner. You might go to like not doing like your hygiene like you should. Like you might skip some steps. Not wanting to iron your clothes or go to the cleaners and put them in the cleaners. Just skipping and kind of like going through the motions. And you find yourself in this huge pattern of making some decisions, all because you had encountered an abuser. And it's not until that, you come to your senses and know that you deserve better that you can overcome the verbal abuser. Okay? Number 2, the sexual abuser. We're going to talk about that one. Verbal, now we're going to talk about sexual. So the sexual abuser, right, will make you feel like, in so many words, because they're still verbal, that you have to give them whatever they ask for. Yeah, they'll make you feel like that. They'll make you feel powerless. They'll make you feel really gross inside, like you're not even human. Example, number 1. Do this or else. Like those threats. And sometimes it's not even like a huge threat. It could just be somebody that, you're dating or you just been around, you hung out with, and they're like, well, give me this or do this for me, right? I'm not gonna get too graphic because I don't know who's watching this video, but y'all can read between the lines, right? They'll make you feel to the point where you have no choice but to do exactly what they ask, even if they don't have as much power as you do to overcome the situation. There are certain instances where there are weapons that can be used to make you be in that situation. But if you overcome, if you can get out that situation, just know that it's not your fault. You don't deserve anything in that manner. Okay? You have to get to the point in your life, if you've experienced this or you find yourself in a situation backed in a corner, that there's always a way out. Okay? And if you don't find yourself out, seek help so that you can control this and you can control all this. But you can't do it without help. Okay, so the sexual abuser will normally what they'll do is they'll try to find avenues to get you where they want you. For example, if you like hanging out or the whining and dining, they'll treat you in the whining and dining, and they'll get you in a point where you're vulnerable in a vulnerable situation or a vulnerable point at a vulnerable place, and then boom, you don't have a choice. Or they'll proposition you to the point where it's like, well, I thought this person was being genuine. No, it was all for their own agenda. Sexual abuse could be sex trafficking. Sexual abuse could be prostitution. It could be numerous different things. It doesn't necessarily have to be that they were treating you nice. So just be careful and be mindful that everyone out there that is coming onto you or that may be around you is not around you for your good. So watch out for that. Okay? Number 3, the abusive, the physical abuse, the physical abuser. The physical abuser is not going to start off physically fighting you or physically abusing you. What they're going to do is they're going to sing so grand, right? I've been in a situation where a person has seen so grand. I was even married to a person that sings so grand, right? His family just thought he was so great. He was involved in church. He was doing this and he was doing that. And nobody never knew behind closed doors what I was involved in and what he was capable of. To the point where I've been locked in the closet, told I couldn't go to work, took my keys from me, didn't even want me to drive anywhere. I've been in that situation. I've been in a situation where after I divorced him and all that good jazz. Well, let me back up. Before I married him, I was in a situation with a guy, and he seemed all cool. You know, the glitz, the glam, the everything, right? The whole full package. Everything that you can think of that you thought a man had, this man had. Like, materialistically. But not nothing up here, not no real prized possession, but that immature person that's only looking for materialistic things or looking to get, you know, to have that status quo per se, then this is the type of person that I'm talking about. Somebody, when you go outside, they're popular, you're already popular, but they're popular, so y'all make this huge team. They just got it going on. Steak and lobster, you know, all that good jazz. So the picture is painted up so beautiful for you that you become blinded by the things that really matter. And then it got to the point where he became involved in some things that he shouldn't have been involved in, and he got super aggressive. It started off verbal, and then it was like to the point where this man was punching me. I'm like, out of nowhere. Like, it was like totally unexpected. It's like, you know, you had this angel and all of a sudden the devil just appears out of nowhere and just boom, starts punching you. I experienced that, and I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe this. I have to get out of here, right? So I'm already thinking like my plan to escape already. Look, you had your day or two, I gotta escape. So long story short, he ended up getting very, 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 very sick, where he ended up in the emergency room, right? So that was my plan of escape. I called a friend and was like, look, you know, called her. I said, hey, I need you to come get me. Packed up what I could, my valuables and everything for everybody, and deuces, we up out of here, right? So, you know, it was reports that, you know, he had broken in the home, and it wasn't like we were living together. It was like he was just coming over hanging out. Then it got to the point where he was so angry that I was unreachable and everything like that, where he just like busted my windows out my house, and he just did a whole bunch of crazy stuff, right? And I eventually went back to my home, but it took like months for me to be able to go back. I had to get a restraining order and all that good jazz. So don't be blinded by the glitz and glam, by the outer appearance, by the status quo, by materialistic things, to not see these things. Check these individuals out. And then the people that are giving you the reference, check them out. And then also just goes back to getting yourself together, being able to heal before you move forward from a relationship to another relationship, that you allow yourself that time to revert and refocus on yourself, because that you make the right decisions moving forward with whomever you decide to spend your space with. They don't necessarily have to be someone that you're dating, just period. It could be a friend that's abusing you. It could be an associate. It could be anybody. It doesn't matter. And let me just say this before I end this video. Make sure that just because they do those background checks at work and everybody got to get a drug test and all that good jazz, and I'm speaking from experience, does not necessarily mean that this individual is a good person. Morally, doesn't mean that. Doesn't mean they have flaws that can't be hidden behind it, and you have to take a magnifying glass to really find out what's going on with this individual. Now, I'm not saying that you can't find nobody good at work. You shouldn't be doing that no way. But if that happens, you find yourself in that situation, I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I am saying don't take the clean background and the drug test because they have to take it for a thing that they're a good individual. They may be a good person, but they may not be good for you. So make sure that you don't put yourself in a situation to where, oh, well, they should be straight because all that good jazz. That may check off a couple of boxes, but it may be just a couple of screws that might be loose. Let me also say this. I've been in situations where the other abuser, I had a combination of the three, right? Where this individual did go to my church. We worshiped together, and he was like this goddess. so to speak, or this goddess. I'm saying goddess. I'm not saying God. I'm saying in reference to a person that like seemed to have it all together. But I was mature enough at this particular time to know that they did not. Right? And I was like, okay, yeah, you check, okay, you're weighing the good outweighs the bad. And at the same time, you're like, okay, well, this person's a Christian, they're a believer. We think we have, some things in common. It didn't come out till later, like, this dude is really a verbal abuser. He's really crazy. And I didn't know that he could be a physical abuser until I found out that he physically abused his ex. So just be careful, guys. Like, really careful who you hook up with. Make sure that you take the proper and necessary steps to get yourself some therapy, journal, guys, write stuff down in your diary, purge stuff daily, ask for forgiveness so that you can become pure and you can be right and your heart can be together so that when the right person does come along that you're able to receive them. And just because they have some things that check off in your box, make sure that they check off things that in the future it'll be good. So for example, make sure that number one, the person has a pure heart. Okay. Number two, you're going to make sure that person does not have any baggage, dysfunctional baggage. There's a difference. We all have baggage, but if they have dysfunctional baggage, you want to be careful. Number three, make sure that person has good and healthy relationships with others around them. So example, if you get with a sister and she like, I don't talk to my people, why you ain't talking to them? There ain't not one person in your family you don't talk to. Same thing with men. Sis, if you get with somebody and they say, oh, well, me and my dad ain't talked in 5 years. Well, you might want to check their references because something's going on. And I'm not saying they have to be buddy with them person because it could just be some things that has not been resolved. But if they can't speak and call and check on them and say, how you doing? That's a red flag. So you want to be careful. Make sure you write down some things that are absolute deal breakers with dealing with people. But most of all, guys, make sure that you are being your best you no matter what so that you're able to combat these things that come up against you in relationships with people. Because trust me, there are triggers. We all have them. And you have to figure out what things that you're willing to deal with and what things you're not willing to deal with. And how can you control your trigger? Okay? Because listen, some people can get under your skin and get to the point where you like, man, why am I back like this again? I haven't been like this in years. You have to be really careful on how you deal with yourself and others on a daily basis. So what I am saying, be careful, be mindful, be watchful of the verbal abuser. They come in many forms in all different ways. The sexual abuser, they'll sneak up on you. They come in many forms in many different ways. And the physical abuser, you have to watch out because they sneak up on you. I don't even want to say it like that, but they come up and sneak up on you like a thief in the night. Like, for real, like the devil. Because at this point, if you are to the point where you don't care about physically harming somebody, not verbal, but and it can get to the point where it can get really bad and somebody can lose their life. You have to be really careful of that. Okay? If you find yourself in any one of these situations, you can check the description box. I'm going to put some links for some therapists down below. Make sure you get in like some groups or whatever and find you some really good people to stay connected with. Be mindful. Share this video. Make sure that you're subscribed to Tru Story. I'll bring these true stories to you from every week. Let me know if you all are enjoying it. And if so, let me know which part. I do read all my comments, y'all. I do read all my comments. I appreciate you all for watching. Again, take care of yourself and each other. Like I always say, be kind to yourself, others, including strangers. And watch out. Watch out, watch out, watch out.